This out.
Good morning, my superheroes, and I'm on my way to get my hair extensions. Sorry, it's so noisy because this is why I have a big party strip here in Edmonton. So we're going to the extensionist, and I thought it'd be cool to show you guys from a non-beauty vlogger perspective, and yeah, just show the girly side of me, which I love the channel as well, and the fitness and all that. But so here it is. Look how cute this place is. They do little photo shoots. Like, so girly. Oh, I love it. So yeah, getting my hair dyed later, like this. Touch up the roots and then getting the extensions. Good. So here is the final product, and it is gorgeous. I'm so in love. Like, I can't get over this. Is my hair. Like, oh, it feels so great. And so I hope you guys like that. It was called the Extensionist in Edmonton. I will link their information down below. Amber was the girl who colored my hair and put in extensions, and she was amazing. I highly recommend. This is not a paid advertisement, but they are amazing, and I was treated so well, so I will refer them again and again. And so yeah, I'm so happy. So I will now talk to you guys about my hair loss story. Hello again, my superheroes, and thank you for tuning in. I hope you liked a little insight of getting hair extensions and all that. It's actually the next day. I recorded this yesterday and all the footage got lost. But let's not get into that. So first night with extensions, it went great. At first it was a little uncomfortable to sleep on them, but after a few minutes I was like completely fine. I've had like eyelash extensions in the past, and that was way harder to get used to sleeping with than this. Like, I just kind of put it in a loose ponytail like that and slept on my side, and I was golden. So yes, this is it the next day, and it's beautiful, and I finally have my mermaid hair, my dreams, and I'm so excited. So whew. But yes, as I promised, I thought I'd talk to you guys about my personal experience with hair loss and why I chose to get hair extensions. And maybe it's a bit different, but I feel a lot of girls can relate to this, because as a nutrition coach and training coach, I do get a lot of inquiries, questions from clients, and, you know, just having a decent social media following, like a decent amount, I do get actually a lot of questions about this, and yet I've searched online and there's not many people that talk about it. And there is some, of course, I don't want to take away from anyone that has, but I thought I'll share my story, so hopefully anyone who's searching online knows you're not alone and there's others that went through this and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So I thought I'd share my story. If you want to hear, stick with it. If you don't really care, here's my beautiful hair, there's my extensions. Hope you like that part of the vlog. Where to begin? A little background knowledge about myself, and I'll try not make this too long. In high school, I was, you know, the athlete, academic, you know, decently well liked. I wouldn't say I was like Regina George, but you know, I had a lot of friends, and you know, I really enjoyed my high school experience, and kind of the things I was known for was one, academics, I was smart. Two, athletics is my thing. Like I played basketball, volleyball, rugby, track, swimming, like I did it all. That was really what I was known for. And another thing was I was really known for having like nice, long, beautiful blonde hair. I never dyed it. I always grew it out. It was relatively thick, and like I did no work to it, just had great hair. And if anyone knows me, and you're like an original follower, you know like my obsession with mermaids. So you know, long hair, beach, all that. Like I've always, that's kind of been my ultra ego, aside from superhero. Superhero mermaid, is that a thing? Is that a thing? But anyways, yeah, so that was kind of what I was known for in ways, and that was kind of, I feel a lot of people get like identities to themselves with things, and those are kind of some things I was known for. And then I went to university, and I was super blessed that I got to play college basketball, and that was kind of like a dream of mine, being an athlete my whole life. My older cousins played college basketball or like baseball and football. Like that's just kind of my family's thing, athletics. That's what we do. After my first year, this isn't like my life story. That's for another video, which I would love to explain. But we're just talking hair today. We're just talking hair. I'll try not to get too much into it. Yes, I played college basketball. After, you know, at the end of one season, I ended up blowing out my knee. And it was a really turning point in my life. Like I lost a lot of who I was. I knew, because I was quite smart and always good at school, and I thought I wanted to be a doctor. I watched Grey's Anatomy and I had good grades, and I liked helping people, so I was like, oh, I'll be a doctor. And then I kind of got my first glimpse of it and the science, and you know, I was taking biology like in that route, kind of the pre-med route, and I didn't love it. Suddenly I blew out my knee, and I didn't have basketball, and so I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't gonna be a doctor. I was just kind of this pretty girl. That was, you know, kind of all I was. It wasn't much more. And so that summer, you know, I kind of lost who I am. I lost my identity, and I think saying a lot of people can relate to in their first year of colleges was just lost. And I did turn to alcohol in a lot of ways, and I, you know, lost a lot of weight, unhealthy, fast amounts, and I just didn't treat my body well. You know, when I ate, it was crap food, and you know, I'm total macros. Like I love burgers and pizza and cookies, and that's totally fine. But when you're like eating next to nothing, the only thing you eat is like a McDonald's burger and then like Red Bull, and like that was like all that was in my body. So a little amount of, and alcohol, like that was, and I just did not treat my body well, and I was very self-sabotaging, not like self-harm, but self-sabotaging, like either in relationships or friendships and family, and just anything I did was just negative, and I was surrounded by negativity, and it was all me. It was not the people. Honestly, I used to play the victim. I used to, and always it was like, oh, these people did this to me, and I looking back now, it was me trying to find myself, so latching on to people who weren't really right for me, and it wasn't even that they weren't right for me. I was just not right for myself, and so I didn't treat others right, and most importantly, I didn't treat myself right. And so for, you know, 2 or so years, you know, I barely ate. I just drank my face off. I became a bartender. I was, you know, the cliche bar star. Like I was drinking 4 or 5 times a week, you know, not eating enough, just awful. And I was just unhealthy. Nothing kind of got in the way, because you become numb almost to it, because you're like, no, this is what I am now. And you party to take away from your lack of, you know, joy in your everyday life, because you can go out and drink your face off and become numb to everything, and it almost became like cool, and the bartenders seemed to be like self-sabotaging in a way and not care about your health. You know, so I'd lost athletics, I'd lost academics. Not that like I failed out of school, I just like didn't know what I wanted to take in school. I was just in school to be in school. And then one summer I came back from college, and this was a summer I was very, very self-sabotaging. I was in a very toxic relationships, and not those guys. Honestly, nothing against those guys. I'm sure like they're awesome, but like the relationships I was in, I wasn't happy with myself. And so I just wasn't a good person. So it was a toxic relationship. They weren't toxic. I was toxic, if anything. Oh, they could have been too, but hey. And I came back one summer, and I hadn't cut my hair in like 3 years. And, you know, as I said, I love my long hair. And suddenly everyone started being like, oh, you cut your hair. And I was like, no, I haven't cut it in 2 years. And then like I started getting it a lot, and you don't even realize it. You become so non-conscious of what's going on in your life because you're so numb to things. You try and like push away the like lack of enjoyment, and you just become numb and unaware of your own body in a way. And I remember one day looking in the mirror, and then I was in the shower and I started grabbing my hair, and just lumps falling out. And I started having bald patches that were like right here, and you can't see them now, and it was such an awakening that year. And then an event actually happened, which was for another story, and that was really my big realization of how toxic my life was. And I was just like, Keltie, you're not healthy. Like, what you're doing it's just something needs to change. And I didn't know what it was, and I just was tired of feeling awful all the time. And I was tired of putting my health last, and, you know, not fueling my body properly, and drinking just for the sake of drinking, and being around people that weren't uplifting, that were negative, that, you know, looked down at me if I wasn't drinking a whole 2-6 every night. Like, that was the achievement we had. And nothing against these people, it's just they were really toxic for me. And they're great people, and some of them I still do love. It's just where they were at that time, where I was, it was just not good. And it was such an awakening. And I just remember after this event, I almost died. I went to church the next day. I won't get into my religion and that, but it just was, I just needed something. I didn't even know. And I was just like, I just want to feel good again. I just want to feel healthy. And so how I started, of course, you know, we're kind of oblivious to what health is, but it was just like, I just want to eat like raw food, like natural whole thing. So I went and bought fresh fruit and fresh veggies and peanut butter and all natural nuts, and like not just processed crap because it was low calories and all that. Like, I just wanted good food and like salmon and just that rich food that you're full of nutrients. And I was like, my body's just craving it. And so I kind of like, I went on a raw diet in a way, not really. I just like was eating a lot of fruit and veggies and all that. And then suddenly I was like, I'm going to start working out again because I'm an athlete. Like, I need to get into this, and like I miss it so much. And so I started weightlifting, and I really caught the bug. And this was about 4 years ago, and I was like, wow, it feels so amazing to move my body. And like I wasn't necessarily weightlifting like the most proper way now. I'm a lot smarter, but it was just I was getting into the gym and doing what I did know, and I was doing sprints outside, and I just felt good. And that was when I started my Instagram, actually. And so I started, you know, I did luckily have that science degree background, and so I did have some understanding of nutrition and whatnot, and calories and carbs and protein and fiber. And so I kind of like started the whole If It Fits Your Macros and did that. I just didn't even know what If It Fits Your Macros was at the time. And so I was really, you know, wanted good foods in my body. But I did kind of have that balance. Like, I'd still have cheesecake and still go out with friends, but I was bringing in good people into my life at that time. And slowly through this big transition, you know, letting go of the negativity and bringing as much positivity as I could. And my hair was really what brought that, and was a realization. And not that it's a hair loss story, but it was just something as simple as that. And, you know, it's just hair, a lot of people will say, but it was a clicking point to me that was a realization, like, you're not healthy and you need to get healthy. And so over the next 4 years, if any of you have followed me, you know, I decided I wanted to get into, you know, weightlifting, and I wanted to learn as much as possible in nutrition. I ended up doing bodybuilding, and for me, it's what saved me. And over time, you know, I had this loss of identity. I grew in identity, but not even that, is I grew to be myself. So I no longer had to identify as, like, I don't think of myself as just a fit chick or just a bodybuilder or just this. Like, I'm Keltie, and those are components of me. Before, I was an athlete, you know, pretty hair and academic, and that's what I was. And now I'm Keltie, and there's components of me. And so my hair started to grow back, and it was, you know, such a aha moment, as like suddenly I saw these pictures, is it would grow back and it felt healthier. And I'm sure if you saw, like, I had long hair, and I attributed that to putting my health first. And so I was it was such a realization that I'm doing what I love, and I'm happy, and I'm surrounded by positive, influential people that bring more to my life. And, it was just kind of physical representation that, Keltie, you're doing the right thing and you're fueling your body properly. And so this was kind of my treat to myself, is that I could have, 3 years ago just been like, oh, and that's what old Keltie would have done, just put hair extensions over top and not care about my health. And then just been like, oh, that, it's a Band-Aid. But for me, it was like, no, you're going to get healthy and you're going to grow your hair back. And it was such a moment. And so after putting my health last for so long, I was able to grow my hair back. And it's kind of backwards in a way, I get it. But, I was confident with myself. And so this was my treat to me, that I loved my long hair, and I love being glamorous and girly, and I've always wanted to be a mermaid. And so it was kind of, Keltie, you grew your long hair, you did this, you put your health first, you started being positive, and you love life, and so you're going to treat yourself. And so that's what I did. And honestly, I'm so happy with it. And that's a cool thing I also think is with a lot of people, it's my hair didn't make me confident. Being confident with myself and loving myself is what allowed my hair to grow back. You see, and that's how I'm very similar with what I think about with my fake boobs, which is a whole nother story. That's my hair loss story, and it's a bit different than others, but I just want to reach out to all you, because now I'm in the fitness community and seeing girls do kind of what I did, but while they're in the fitness community, which is what's breaking my heart. Girls on starvation diets, doing endless hours of cardio, taking steroids that are messing with their hormones, or, doing these crazy crash diets, and just awful, awful things I constantly hear about. And of course, prep is an extreme for a little bit, but I'm talking to people who are messing with their hormones for months on end, and not even just contest prep, like just regular people driving themselves in because they think fitness is a six-pack and nothing but. And it's so much more than that, because fitness should be about feeling healthy and in good and enjoyment and positivity and being able to do more. Like, I can do so much. If you invite me to go hiking, I'm going hiking. If you were like, Keltie, we're going to go try CrossFit. Do you want to try it? I'm like, yeah, sure. What the heck? Like, I have no limitations on my body anymore. And I feel healthy. And that's what I think fitness should be. And I'm not saying one way is right or the other, but you should feel good. You should feel healthy and positive. And that's what a lifestyle about fitness is. And there's certain points, and like bodybuilding and bikini competitions is fine, and it is a bit of an extreme, but for a very select amount of time, very short period, and the rest of my year is very balanced and whole and healthy. And yeah, I'm in a calorie deficit right now, but I just want to reach this out to all you girls who, if you are losing your hair, don't take it lightly. Like, it's a sign. Your body is giving you a physical sign that something needs to change. And yes, there is hormonal things that are out of your control, and genetics play into it, but if you are noticing it, I just want you to know you're not alone, and you're not any less of a woman, and you are not ugly. You're still beautiful, and your body is still amazing. It is your body reaching out to you, reaching out and trying to give you signs that you need to put your health first, because if your health isn't first, above aesthetics, above everything, you can't have it all, because your health is number one. And then, how you look and all that will fall into place, but you really fuel your body properly. Do it in a healthy way. Do not resort to extremes. Extremes are never the answer, and we just sell it a lot of times because it's like the it thing to do, but once you get into fitness, you understand extremes are never right. It's always something in the middle. You can never cut out everything. You can never do too much of everything. Like, it's always, you have to have that fine balance, because your body is just trying to keep you alive, and so it will shut down your menstrual cycle to keep you alive. It will, if you don't need hair, maybe we don't need it, so it's not going to resort calories to that. It's just going to try and keep your heart beating. So if you are suffering with hair loss, I reach out to you, and I give you such a big hug, and know it's extremely hard, especially as a female when we identify so much to our hair. And just know your health is so important. It is more important than anything. And I will preach that again. And so, if you're experiencing this, know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You have the power to put your health first. And don't take for granted the little things. And yes, it's just hair. But, hair is fun, and we're girls, and we like to be girly. And men, I don't want to take away men from this. It was just, I'm a female. I wanted this catered towards females. But if you're a male, same thing as you. But I just find male pattern baldness is typically more genetic than females who experience this. So I hope and I pray that you guys, put your health first. And if you want to get hair extension, you go do that if that is what makes you happy. But make sure you're healthy and happy first, and then have the fun stuff. And then it will feel a lot better than, you're masking something underneath. And so I'm so excited about my hair extensions and how beautiful they are. And now I get to be my inner mermaid, and life is amazing. But it's not just amazing because of my extensions, it's amazing because of my health and allowing me to get these extensions that are so beautiful. So thank you, the extensionists, for doing this. I also want to give a little shout out to them because they do specialize in hair loss. So if you are someone who's battling it not just due to health but actual genetic reasons, they are amazing and they cater towards that as well. So let's put your health first. If you want to be a glamorous mermaid, go and do that as well. Make sure your health is always number one, and know you're no less of a woman no matter what your hair looks like. But if you want to be glamorous, that's cool too. Thank you, superheroes, for tuning in. I love you all.